Hello yogis, welcome to Yoga with Christy for Mountain Life Fitness. While I am saddened that we can't practice together at the gym right now, I am super grateful that we are able to connect this way. Right now we're going to do a 30-minute class, and this one is going to be more on the relaxation side of yoga. There will be asana and movement, stretching, strengthening, but a little bit of meditation and pranayama as well. Pranayama is breathing. So for a focus for today's class, the focus is acceptance. We are going to be breathing in acceptance of situations that we cannot change, of ourselves for who and what we are, of our scenario and the people around us or that we are in touch with. And just trying to accept things for how they are and let go of expectations. And we're going to start with a breathing exercise, and while I'm not going to be using any props, because who knows what kind of props we all have at home, I would suggest if you have it, a yoga mat on the floor with as much open space around as possible. And if you have a pillow, grab a pillow, or 2 or 3. If you're using a little bit more firm couch cushion pillows, those would be the best. We're just going to use those a little bit later as a prop to lay on. You can also use that right now to sit on if you'd like. So please come to just a comfortable seat. You can have your legs gently crossed, you can have your legs forward, you can sit on your heels, some way that you're going to be able to sit and focus in a pretty relaxed upright posture for the next couple moments. We'll do just a little bit of movement to settle in. Start to shrug your shoulders up, back, and down. Let your arms hang heavy. Let your neck do a couple rolls in each direction. And just start to notice your breath. And start to draw it a little bit deeper down into your lower torso. Feel your belly expand with each inhalation and contract with each exhalation. Inhale your arms up wide and let your palms touch at the top, and we're just going to gently twist to the right as you exhale. Let your gaze come back behind you, hands come down to the floor. And stay here for 2 nice, long, slow breaths. Keep reaching the crown of your head up towards the sky for a nice long spine. Release forward on an exhalation. And then we'll use another inhalation for arms to raise, palms touch, and just gently twist to the other side. This is just getting our spine ready to sit for a moment in breathing exercises. Stay here for 2 more long, slow breaths. Your hands can be on the ground, or you can place your hand on your opposite knee for a little more support. Release forward on an exhalation. And just if your legs are crossed, gently uncross them and let them cross the opposite way. Nadi Shodhana, I just said that wrong. Nadi Shodhana is an alternate nostril breathing. And we're going to do that. So it's pretty simple. You just use your hand. So you're going to take your right hand and place your middle finger on your forehead or your third eye center. We're just going to be alternating using our thumb and our ring finger to constrict the breath flow through a nostril. So it'll just be alternating between covering the nostril with your thumb and covering the other nostril with your ring finger. So to start, bring your middle finger to your third eye center and just exhale all of the breath out of your body, and just gently place your right thumb over your right nostril. From here, breathe in deeply into your left nostril and out of your left nostril. At the end of your breath cycle, switch it up. Cover your left nostril with your ring finger and breathe the full cycle in through your right nostril and out through your right nostril. And we're just going to switch back and forth nice and slowly. You can keep your eyes closed. And breathe this way for the next few moments. There are a couple benefits. My favorite benefit of this is that it is just changing up the patterns of your breath in your body. It encourages a new perspective on things. It's also just calming. Anytime that you are focusing on your breath, it has a nice calming effect. And finish the round of breath that you're on and complete 1 more breath cycle on each nostril. And keep drawing your breath a little bit slower and longer with each cycle of breath. And when you've completed, you can just release your hands to your knees. Palms up if you'd like to feel more of a receptive benefit, palms down for a more grounding sensation. And just let your head hang a little bit more heavy forward to let your chin come to your chest, feel length in the back of your spine. And then bring your chin up towards the ceiling, feel stretching length across your throat. And bring your head back towards the center. Bring your arms out wide, wiggle out your wrists, flick your fingers a little, and then let your arms come, cross your right arm over your left and give yourself a bear hug. So you can stay in bear hug, or you can wrap up your arms into eagle arms and just gently pull your arms into each other. Either way, press your elbows into each other, create a little tension. Breathe some space into the area between your shoulder blades. And before we switch to the other side, just lean back a little and see if you can uncross your legs and recross them. From here, inhale your arms out wide, let your shoulders squeeze towards each other behind you, and on an exhalation, bring them back and cross the other arm on top, either bear hug or eagle arms. And just take a couple rounds of breath here, pressing your elbows into each other, feeling a little space open up behind your shoulder blades. And when your next exhalation comes, release your arms, roll your shoulders a couple times. And from here, we're going to lay down onto our bellies. So you can get rid of the pillow, just put it off to the side for later. Roll onto your knees or hands and just lower yourself down to your belly. If you want a little core strengthening here, you can start in plank and lower down one solid plank onto your belly. Uncurl your toes, bring your arms back along beside your body and place your right ear on the mat. And just pause there for a moment. See if you can let your shoulders drape heavier towards the ground. Breathing big breaths into your belly. Feel your back rise and fall. And from here, just bring your left arm out towards the center of your room and place your right hand underneath your shoulder. You're going to just gently roll over with your left palm firmly on the floor. Roll over towards that shoulder and let your right knee come up towards the ceiling and place your foot on the floor. You can gaze up towards the ceiling and keep your head raised just lightly off of the mat and start to sink in to that shoulder. You can bring your right arm up towards the ceiling and back if you like, or you can keep it pressed down onto the floor and just gently encourage your heart towards the sky. Keep your left palm firmly onto the ground and gently let your right knee hang a little bit more behind you to open up your torso towards the ceiling. Keep breathing here. And if this is very, very comfortable for you, you can try to bring your hips both towards the floor. This is Swastikasana. Take one more big breath here. To come out, you are going to gently bring your right leg towards the ground, lay on your belly, straighten out your body, bring both arms towards the ground, place your left ear on the mat, and just rest for 2 breaths. And bring your head up. This time bring your right arm out to the side, palm down. Start to roll over onto your right hip with your left hand under your shoulder, pressing up. Bring your left leg towards the ceiling, foot onto the floor. You can bring your gaze up towards the ceiling, and instead of letting your head rest down, try to keep it active, your neck a little bit stronger, holding your head up, gazing towards the ceiling. If you like, you can bring your left arm up towards the ceiling and reach back, or you can just keep your arm placed on the floor and just gently pressing your heart open towards the sky. And if this is very comfortable, you can bend both legs and try to bring your hips to the ground. That doesn't quite work for me, but that is a more of the end pose. Stay here for 2 more nice slow breaths. And when you're ready, roll onto your belly, let your legs go long, place your right ear on the ground, and just rest for 2 long, slow breaths. And with each breath, breathe in the idea of acceptance and breathe out something that does not suit you or suit your acceptance of the current situation for what it is. From here, you're gently going to find your way to child's pose. So just place your hands underneath your shoulders. Shift your hips up and back. Find your hips to the floor. Let your forehead rest on the ground. Child's pose. If your forehead does not come to the ground, you can make two fists with your hands and place your forehead on your fist. The idea here is to find relaxation. So try not to use your muscles. You can separate your knees a little bit wider and let your belly hang closer to the floor if that works for your hips. For the next couple breaths, just breathe deep into your lower back and lower torso. And while we continue with this idea of acceptance, I have a Hermann Hesse quote for you as you breathe there in child's pose. He's speaking about the happiness that he has found, and he says, "This happiness consisted of nothing else but the harmony of the few things around me with my own existence, a feeling of contentment and well-being that needed no changes and no intensification." And for the next 2 breaths, close your eyes, maybe if they are still open. Rock your head gently forward from side to side. From here, you're just going to slowly roll your body up to a seated position. Shift over onto your left hip and come to the center of your mat with your body facing the long edge of your mat. Upavishta Konasana, wide-legged forward fold. We're going to start with our legs angling out towards the sides. You can bend your knees a little bit here if your hamstrings are feeling super tight. Bring your hands forward in between your legs. Place your fingertips on the ground and shrug your shoulders up, back, and down, and just find a nice long straight spine. Push out through your heels, so even if your legs are bent, flex your toes back towards your face. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, start to walk your fingers forward and start to find an easy forward fold. You can come up just a little bit with each inhalation and sink a little farther with each exhalation. Keep your spine long. Keep some space between your chin and your chest. Keep re-engaging your legs. You can dig in with your heels and pull back with your toes. A few more rounds of breath like this, inhaling for length, exhaling to walk your hands forward a little farther. And at the end of your next breath cycle, see if you can relax your legs a little bit more. Try to relax the muscles that are closest to the floor. If it feels like this is no big deal, you can sink even farther. And we're going to try to find a relaxing pose here. So you can, again, bring your fists together and start to rest your forehead down towards your fists. Or you can place your arms on the ground, hands on the floor, and just find a way that you can hang forward more easily. You might even want to consider bending your knees a little and see if that helps get you a little deeper into the forward fold. If this is fully no big deal and you want to make it more intense, you can reach out and grab your toes, peace fingers around your big toes, and start to hinge forward more there. From here, you'd want to use your arms a little bit just to pull gently back. Wherever you're at, pull back with your pinky toes. Take 3 more long, slow breaths here and try to relax. See if you can come to less use of muscle here. Big full breaths into your belly, out through an open mouth. And start to raise your head, place your hands on the floor. Walk your hands back towards your body to come up to seated. Bring your legs forward, shake them out a little bit. Come back to the center of your mat and just bring your legs towards the back of your mat. Reach your arms forward. Clasp your legs behind your knees. From here, you want to bend your knees a little bit, or a lot rather. Shrug your shoulders up, back, and down, and start to straighten your spine. Point your toes, and just walk your feet back towards your body until you come to balancing on your tailbone. From here, start to bring your legs up. Bring them so that they're parallel between the ceiling and the floor. Re-engage your core. Shrug your shoulders back and down, and see if you can bring your arms out towards the side. Start to straighten your legs up towards the ceiling and then bend them again. Do that a couple times while you keep re-engaging, raising your heart up as if your heart was tied to a string that was tied to the ceiling. One more time. This time, keep your legs up, and we're going to slowly, slowly lower down. So rotate your thighs inward. Keep the energy of your palms up towards the sky. And see if you can lower down super, super slowly. If you're shaking like me, you're totally doing it right. Keep your heart up high, lower down nice and slow. When you finally touch down, stretch your arms up, back, and down past your heads. Wiggle your fingers and toes and stretch your body in a full body stretch. From here, bring your elbows wider so that your arms look like goalposts or cactus. Bend your knees. Bring your feet close to your body. Lift up your tailbone. Stretch your hips away and down. We're just straightening out the spine there. From here, bring your feet a little closer. Maybe you can even reach down and tickle your heels with your toes. We'll be going into bridge in just a moment, but before that, let your legs just gently fall over to the right. And then inhale them up through center and let them gently fall over to the left. We'll go back and forth this way a couple times. Complete the twist by tucking your chin towards the opposite shoulder of the direction that your legs are falling. One more time, back and forth on each side. And then come back to the center. Square up your spine on the floor. You can bring your hands down towards your heels. Shrug your shoulders a little closer together underneath you. Keep a little space between your chin and your chest, as if you were squeezing a grapefruit in between. And then start to raise your hips and lower them. So we'll do this a couple times. Nice, gentle inhaling your hips up. Squeeze your shoulders closer together. Exhale your hips slowly down. And while we do this 2 more times, pick up your toes and keep them raised up off of the mat. See if you can slow it down even more. And with your next inhalation, bring your hips up and we're going to keep them up in the sky. Shrug your shoulders closer together. Maybe you can clasp your hands underneath. If that's not accessible, you can always just clasp onto the outer edge of your mat or let your fingers just reach towards your heels. Pick up your toes, try to separate them and lower them down 1 toe at a time. Press down through the back of your head and get your hips up a little higher. Notice if your legs are splaying out and bring them back in line with your hips, almost like you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Notice if you're clenching your butt muscles and try to let that go and use the strength of your legs and your torso to pull your hips up. We're going to stay here for 2 or 3 more breaths. If you'd like, you can press your forearms a little bit more into the ground. If your hands are clasped, press your pinky fingers into the floor and keep squeezing your shoulders together underneath you. From here, put your toes back down on the ground if they are still raised and just raise your heels up off of the ground for a moment. Start to release your hands. Bring your arms out wider to T and sweep them past your arms or past your head down to the floor up by your ears. Lower your heels. And then stretching your tailbone away, try to lower down slowly 1 vertebra at a time until your tailbone comes down. From here, separate your feet wider towards the edges of your mat. And again, let your legs just gently flow from side to side like windshield wipers or a rainbow. A couple times in each direction. Come back to the center and we're just going to hug our bodies or our legs into our bodies. So wiggle around on the floor a little to lengthen your spine and flatten your back. Point and flex your toes a couple times as you start to bring your knees in towards your belly. You can clasp your hands around your shins, or if it's accessible, wrap your arms around your legs and clasp your opposite elbows. Tuck your chin tighter towards your chest. And with your next exhalation, bring your nose up to your knees and squeeze. Point your toes. Tense up every muscle in your body. Squeeze out every last little bit of air. And then when you're ready to inhale again, bring your head and shoulders to the ground. Exhale, start to release your feet back to the floor and legs are still bent. Keeping your right leg on the ground, bend your left leg and cross your ankle over your knee for figure 4. So you can start With your right foot on the ground, and just rock a little from side to side. Take your left knee and wing it away from you and towards you a couple times. And if this is very strong sensation in your hips, work here. If you'd like more sensation, start to bring your right leg towards your body. Take your hands and clasp them behind your right thigh. Interlace tightly up to your knuckles. And then let that leg just relax down. Tuck your chin a little again, press down with the back of your head. Try to lengthen the entire length of your spine on the floor as you gently pull your right leg towards your body. Maybe try closing your eyes here and just going internal, feeling the sensations in your body. Ground down a little bit heavier with your right hip and flex your left toes back towards your shin. You can use your left elbow to push your left thigh gently away from you. And keep breathing. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. If you would still like more sensation, gently encourage your right leg a couple inches to the right and push your tailbone away from you towards the floor. And try to relax all of the muscles that you can here. You keep using your biceps, but you can relax your legs. You can relax your head, the muscles around your face, maybe your belly. And focus again for the next few breaths on the word acceptance. What does that mean? What are you having a hard time with that you could maybe let go of expectations and accept for the way that it is? And feel that acceptance also in your own body. Find the areas of tension that you're holding on to and let them release. And we've got about 3 more long, very slow breaths here. Feel your back expand on the floor as you take big torso-filling breaths. We're going to unwind very, very slowly. Start to straighten your right leg towards the ceiling. Start to wiggle out that ankle and bring the other leg up to meet it. You can bring your arms to the floor and just take a moment to point and flex your toes. Wiggle out your ankles. Bend your knees a couple times. Notice how different one side of your body feels from the other. Slowly bring both feet back down to the ground. Knock your knees in towards each other and just take a breath here, trying to relax your spine. And slowly bring your feet back to the floor where they were for bridge. Keep your left foot on the floor, bring your right leg up, cross your right ankle over your left leg. And again here, just feel it out to begin. Rock a little bit from side to side. Take your right knee and push it away from you and pull it back towards you a couple times just to see what kind of movement is available in your hip. From here, you can either work in that position, or if you'd like more, start to bring your left thigh up towards you. Clasp your hands behind your leg. Try to put the awkward thumb on top this time so that you use a different grip. Flex your right toes, but then relax your left leg. Just let it hang. And start to gently pull in towards you using your biceps. Tuck your chin a little towards your chest, elbows hugging close to your torso. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, begin to pull. And just gently work your way into this side. Maybe close your eyes if they're open. Go internal. Start to find the areas that you could relax a little bit more. You can rock gently a little bit from side to side and then plug down a little bit heavier through your left hip. Pull gently with your biceps. Keep re-relaxing your left foot, but keep re-engaging your right ankle by flexing your toes back towards your face. We do this to protect our knee and to warm up and turn on all the muscles needed to protect your knee in this position. Keep breathing deep into your belly. Exhaling as slowly as you can. If you'd like more sensation, let your left leg wing a little farther to the left and stretch your tailbone away from you as you push your right leg away with your right elbow. And again, bring your attention back to your breath or back to the intention. Is there something about you that you could surrender into and accept for just what it is and let go any previous expectations of how it was supposed to be? Maybe add a touch of forgiveness there. And take 2 more long, slow breaths here. See if you can make them the slowest breaths of the day so far. Slowly start to unwind. Bring your left leg towards the ceiling. Let the right leg reach up towards it. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling and just wiggle all of your appendages up towards the sky. Maybe you can, with straight legs, reach up and try to touch your toes or clasp around your feet. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, lower back down. And bring your hands behind your thighs. We can rock and roll forward and back to come up. So do that a couple times. And when you get up, rotate again to face the long edge of your mat. Make yourself comfortable. Shrug your shoulders up, back, and down a couple times. Let your head roll in twists. And then bring your legs forward, bend both of your knees. You're going to bend your left leg in front of you and your right leg out to the side. So your front leg, your left foot can be up at your right knee, and the back leg, the foot goes straight behind you. Bharadvajasana. It's just a nice twist. You're going to keep your left hand on the floor. Bring your right arm around and place it on the outer edge of your left knee. From here, straighten up your spine. Try to plug down through your right hip. And with a long, straight spine, start to twist to the left. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to twist. And we're going to work through this twist for a few breaths. So keep re-engaging your right hip down towards the ground. It might pop up a little, that's okay, but just keep it reaching towards the floor as you twist. Maybe gaze back behind your left shoulder. Take one more big long breath here, and then relax out halfway. Then bring both hands to the floor. This time we're going to lean a little forward. Let this hip pop up and twist. So you're doing a little bit of a forward fold, very similar twist. But start to walk your hands around. Try to get your torso squared towards the wall at the side of your room. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, hinge down. And we're just going to do a couple little push-ups. So you can tap your chin or forehead onto the floor. And then inhale to come up, pushing straighter with your arms. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your head towards the ground. Inhale to push up with your arms. Use your strength of your arms. Exhale, slowly lower down. One more time, kiss the mat. Inhale to come back up through center. And before we do the other side, just cross your legs with your right leg on top, left leg underneath. You can do Lincoln log legs. If you want to go more deep, you can do cow face legs. Lift up your hips, set them back down just to square up on the floor. And just start to find an easy forward fold. You can tuck your chin towards your chest. Curve your spine deeply and roll forward. You can try to bring your nose towards your knees. If you are in Lincoln log legs, you can try to bring your heart to your calves. And just start to rest forward in this fold for 2 more long, slow breaths. Slowly roll back up to seated. We're going to switch out our legs. So lean back, bring your legs to the floor. Right leg bends in front of you. Left knee comes to right foot and bends leg behind. You might notice that you're very different on different sides. I have a really hard time getting my hip down on this side, but we try. So straighten up your spine. Bring your right hand to the floor and just bring your left arm around. Gently place it on your right knee. Inhale to lengthen up your spine. And as you exhale, begin to twist around. Couple breaths on this side. Keep rooting down through your left hip towards the ground. Keep reaching up with the crown of your head and just twisting deeply through your entire spine, bringing your gaze back over your right shoulder. Stay for 2 more slow breaths. Slowly, slowly unwind back towards center. Take your left leg and cross it over your right and echo what you did on the other side, either Lincoln log legs or cow face legs, knee crossed over knee. And just gently lift up your hips, set them back down so that they're squared on the floor. Tuck your chin, roll forward, and begin to just find an easy forward fold. You might not go very far. Maybe you're not going quite as far as you expected. Let that expectation go and just find a fold that feels good. Maybe that means you come up a little higher. Maybe that means you sink a little deeper. Stay for 1 more breath and then slowly roll back up. Bring your hands behind you, bring your legs forward, shake them out a little bit, and then come back to the center of your mat. Turn to the side and very slowly roll down onto your back. So you can reach your arms forward, gaze towards your belly, try to place 1 vertebra at a time onto the floor. And when you get there, just bring your hands down beside you and rest in Shavasana for the next few moments. Try to let your head hang heavy on the floor, your shoulders. Just imagine that your muscles are draping off of your bones. Gravity is pulling strongly but gently on you. And feel the complete and utter support of the floor. Know that you are safe. Start to cultivate a sense of gratitude towards yourself and your body. And with that gratitude, find acceptance for your body for what it is. And don't expect it to be anything more. If your eyes are open, try to let them close. We'll rest here for just another couple moments. And feel the acceptance and the happiness that acceptance can bring. When you don't try to change, you don't need to change anything. You might start to notice smaller things around you to be grateful for that you were not noticing when you were expecting them to be something else. This happiness consisted of nothing else but the harmony of the few things around me with my own existence, a feeling of contentment and well-being that needed no changes and no intensification. Hermann Hesse. I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you like. This is also a benefit of doing yoga at home. You can fall asleep there if you want to. But if it's time to get back to your day, just start to slowly bring a little awareness into your body, starting at the fingers and the toes. Start to wiggle your wrists and ankles. Keep your eyes closed, but make movement behind your eyelids. Roll your tongue around inside of your mouth. And eventually, as you feel ready, stretch your arms long past your ears in a full body yawning stretch. Point your toes away. And 1 at a time, bring the soles of your feet to the floor. And let your legs rock and roll from side to side. And eventually just roll your whole body over to the right side. Pause there. Take 2 breaths in embryo pose. And when you're ready, slowly start to make your way up to seated. When you do get there, you can bring your hands, palms together at your heart. And just gently tuck your chin a little, head bows to heart. And the most important asana of the day, one last posture. Turn up the corners of your mouth and keep them raised for 2 slow, steady breaths. And that is a posture that you can come back to over and over throughout the day as you need. Thank you all so much for sharing your yoga practice with me today and letting me guide you. We'll be doing more classes through Mountain Life Fitness, so I look forward to seeing you soon. Now have a good day. Namaste.